7 bullets in the back is not a get-well-soon card. Jacob Blake survived. That's not what they intended. We will never see proper justice as long as we are the hunted. We will never feel better about just being wounded and left for dead, or carted off to the ER and handcuffed to the bed. This piece is called 6 Haiku for the Honored Elders. Wisps of soft gray hair, a crown worn with great honor, we should recognize. Beautiful dreamers, so much wisdom extended. Did you get your share? Lovely images, captured in sepia tone, brown skin beautiful. Langston Hughes said it, I've known the ancient rivers, my soul has grown deep. Barack Obama, a man for all the people, Mr. President. We won't let it go. Don't even ask us for this. We will love our own.
This poem is called Holes in My Brain. I have holes in my memory, deep pits that give me no meaning. I like it, yet despise it at the same time. Because I can't remember the happy times. Because I can't remember all of the messed up times. I want to remember all of it, yet I have these gaps of emptiness. I am unaware of what has happened. I can't recall what I've done, what I've said, what anyone else did or said. It's just nothing. Blackness that I can't control. Just an empty pit. Part of me wants to recover those memories, but another part screams that that is a bad idea. You don't want to know about all of the horrible things that you've done. It is better to just forget and take strides onwards. This poem is untitled. You are stuck in patterns of the past, while I have evolved and learned a new dance. There are 1,000 ways in which you can enhance your life, but there are also 1,000 ways where you only embrace your strife. A life of endless battles feels quite exhausting. There's no need to feel the things that haunt you. Discover yourself. Find your truth. Uncover what it is that fulfills you, and you will be led down the right path. Stop hiding among the shadows. I would like to help you discover the truth and rid you of your endless, depressive loop. Open your mind to all of the possibilities of whomever may be out there, because you are guided through this walk called life. Ask for communication, and you shall receive.
High in the mountains may you go, steel marble white as purest snow, with chisel and hammer carve by hand, perfection in the shape of man. Let every maid from miles spawn, or sightless eyes and frozen brawn, plant kisses on his beardless chin, and praise this beauty free of sin. Find me, instead, in forest deep, moss and mushrooms at my feet, fingers curled round branch and thorn, as beauty from the muck is born. Here in the dirt, here in the night, the smells of life and wrought delight. Farewell, sunshine, now I swoon under the wild and howling moon. Oh, you can keep your statuesque men with their strong jaws and perfect skin. Give me a man with heat in his breath and the roar of a beast in his heart. It will all end in tears, and I choose this with eyes open. It will all end in tears because everything worth a damn does, because even happy endings are endings, and there are things we never want to end. Because even good things can go wrong, and if you never leap, you'll never know, so get over the ledge already. Oh, you, once burnt, twice burnt, too shy to get burnt again. There is nothing I want more for you than to catch a blaze, to feel every nerve on fire, to know you have a heart for sure because it's breaking. It will all end in tears, and what else could you possibly hope for? A quiet life was never for us, a life of listless apathy. There is nothing worth having that is not worth crying over, that will not make you cry in the end. Oh, you, in your doubt and your ruminations, I wish nothing more for you than to know the tears that have been shed, that will be shed in the wake of your presence, the beautiful mess you have left and are leaving. It will all end in tears, and you are worth crying over. Don't you dare tell me what a good job I have done, type up a certificate and sign your name and affix the official seal to commemorate my worthy accomplishments. How the fuck dare you name my good deeds in the public square, publicize my busy schedule, praise my long nights and bruised elbows and my refusing to take a break. I have spent all my youth faking being good enough to be loved, and I am tired of pretending, tired of earning it, tired of hearing how good I am at faking being anything other than a waste of oxygen. And I do not want you to tell me that I really am good, really am worthy, really am anything better than the lump I feel like, because if love is something that must be earned, it must be able to be lost, and I do not want to be lost. I do not want to spend every moment on this earth faking it. I just want to be terrible and loved.
Our eyes were opening wide to the parade of wonders floating carefree before them. Our backs were pressed firmly against the earth. It was there and then that with our hearts we formed a circle. What follows are but some of the miracles I'd gladly on that fondly remembered day, in accordance with the music being made by our there and then born circle of hearts. Behold the dragon, were words whispered. There, pointed a finger, in the distance, a tall ship, and from an act of spontaneous generosity flowed this equally generous response. Lo, the solitary rabbit, what feasts from an outstretched hand. Amongst ourselves we wondered aloud about what magic might the skies stage next. Thus answered the sky with yet more dragons. Then a fleet of tall ships, behind which arrived a veritable finale Ariel, that of the airborne butterflies ballet. By day's end, we were fully alive and filled with gratitude. And at our best were we for it. For that is the very substance from which our outing and the poetry it gave rise to were made.
Stickman, 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 directing ways and means, Bearing branches, circumstances are oft not what they seem. Fallen leaves, he solemnly testifies to grief. Windswept piles, blown for miles, technicolor dream. Soggy soreclogs, squatting show dogs, damply flooding rains. Barren branches seem expansive, framing forgotten pains. Stick man, yearning for next spring. Winter slumbers, frigid plunders, snow falls liberally.
Everything is relative. I'm in relatively good health, I think, even if I have dry eye, irritable bowel syndrome, and now a mild case of melanoma. And I look good, youthful for a man of 49. Or is that an oxymoron? I must be a complete moron to believe this, to want it, to hold on to youth when the train has left the station. When will it sink in that I can't wear Levi's, cargo pants, or bikini briefs any longer? I am superficial. Where are my deeper values, my heft and gravitas? And now the nurses tell me I have superficial malignant melanoma. Isn't that redundant? Isn't all melanoma malignant? These words have too many syllables, too many layers, like the skin that clothes my body. I'm lost among them, looking for a way out, waiting for the surgeon to show me an exit strategy. I wait, pacing in the room where he will examine me and deliver his prognosis, edict, plan of attack. This attack will include stainless steel instruments, local anesthetic, the opening and closing of my skin, the removal of invisible wadding, flesh and blood. Melanoma is not superficial, I want to tell them. Mild cancer cannot comfort me. And then it does. I have the promise of time, more time, and I'm reminded, wait, more precious than gold. Still, I hear the tick-tick of the station clock, the flip-flip of the train board, where all tracks lead to oblivion. Meanwhile, I trace the contours of my form, curiously three-dimensional, like the map of Finland I created for a 6th grade school project. Freckles grow and darken, erupt into moles, tectonic plates shifting underneath my skin. I wear this map on my body. The elevations are removed, inspected for collateral damage. I'm anxious for the knife, the cut of steel, the rich flow of my blood, but not too much, that will rid my body of its sickened cells and restore me to relative health.
In New England's February, I worry about what the crocuses will tell us. Any minute now, betrayed by a single day or two of false spring, crocus bulbs will vibrate just beneath the frozen earth and startle the frigid air. They'll poke through a later blooming beauty bush or circle an overgrown ivy's root that's upended the slate walk, their light purples and yellows insinuating, even as the cold air will likely descend on them again. They want to be our sign of spring, of all that's past, buried in the cold ground. So who am I to forecast their rising up and their eventual and premature death? We've made it to this point, but I can see now that I am on the lookout for a 1-year sign to mark the day when days became more days and the pandemic had killed what then felt like many. The crocus will have a lot to carry this year. I don't know if it will be able to, with its very short life, bear up under all that hope and terror. Low tide, Ryder Beach, Truro, Massachusetts. We are the colonists today, gathering more than we need. Gray-black stones striated with silver, one nearly turquoise and craggy, another quartz pink, so brilliant in their beds of wet grit we dig them up, take them with us to our towel, watch them as they dry. We choose only the few that still beam an inner something beyond their watery reflections, while the others, now too far for the tides to take them in again, will dull in a strange circle of dejection. Low tide, Ryder Beach, Truro, Massachusetts. We are the colonists today, gathering more than we need. Gray-black stones, striated with silver, one nearly turquoise and craggy, another quartz pink, so brilliant in their beds of wet grit we dig them up, take them with us to our towel, watch them as they dry. We choose only the few that still beam an inner something beyond their watery reflections, while the others, now too far for the tides to take them in again, will dull in a strange circle of dejection. Walk in the neighborhood. It's already too late. I'm laughing, talking to a friend on my cell while I steer the dog around the corner, forgetting I'll be passing this house of grief. I see the man crafting his small lawn, grass blades so perfectly straight and green they seem cut with an X-Acto knife to fit the edges. Yesterday, he told me his son had died the week before, and though I don't know his name, we'd embraced and cried. Today, I move my ear away from the cell, and we smile differently now. Me, apologetic to be living, him, apologetic to be curating his green patch with the young man gone a week from this strange world. Walk in the neighborhood. It's already too late. I'm laughing, talking to a friend on my cell while I steer the dog around the corner, forgetting I'll be passing this house of grief. I see the man crafting his small lawn, grass blades so perfectly straight and green they seem cut with an X-Acto knife to fit the edges. Yesterday, he told me his son had died the week before, and though I don't know his name, we'd embraced and cried. Today, I move my ear away from the cell, and we smile differently now. Me, apologetic to be living, him, apologetic to be curating his green patch with the young man gone a week from this strange world.
Love is purple, love is gold. Love's a robe, and in the folds are little hairs and balls of lint, each a hint, a souvenir. Love is placid, love's intense. Love's the most uncommon sense. No two are ever quite the same. Some are flame, and some are flood. Love is muscle, love is skin, the bumps outside, the beats within. It's music, rhythm, melody, a symphony in which we play. Love is flannel, love is silk. Love is life-enriching milk, nourishment expressed by one, and when it's done, we feel complete. Love is yours, love is mine, yet love can never be defined. We feel it most when it has gone, cold as dawn, but ever dark. Love's an actor, love's an act. Love's a signed, unspoken pact. You do for me, I do for you. Each day anew, each day anew.
Blue is the color of her year. I admire my father's gray-blue eyes as he looks at my mother. They have a mood more than a color. His eyes are the ocean as a storm rolls in, sad, lonely, dramatic, and full of stories. Blue is the color of her favorite sweater. It's the one reportedly stolen by a nurse. I find it at the bottom of her closet in a pile of dirty clothes. "Did you look in the closet?" I ask her. She responds as if reminiscing, "Why would I look for something when I don't know where it is?" Navy blue is the color of the fuzzy blanket that I bought for her nursing home bed, since she is always cold. She is shrunken down to a small bag of misshapen bones and white hair. I don't wear a lot of blue. It's not a color that looks good on me, or so she's told me. Blue suppresses your appetite. There are not many foods that are blue, so our brains tell us to stop eating. Now you're trying to think of blue food. My Murano blue kitchen glasses give me pause whenever I drink out of them. I wonder if I stop because I remember they're blue, or my brain is reacting to the color. I rented a car once that was a douchey bright blue, like the color of a Slurpee. At the time, it felt embarrassingly obvious. Now I'm self-conscious of the increasing complexity of my coffee order, but I order it anyways. Blue is the child of two parent colors, cyan and magenta. Every Zoom call with Mom, she tells us how much she likes the blue fruit pattern on the wallpaper behind our heads. She doesn't remember that she picked it out. Whenever someone tells me their favorite color is blue, I think of her. Pantone announced that classic blue is the color of the year for 2020. Perhaps this will be her year. The snow is a blanket that slows the world down. A fresh new start. As a child, I would awaken early and get dressed in my many layers and anxiously wait to be the first one to make virgin footprints. I owned the path. I felt the world expand and contract with me, breathing in sharpness and exhaling determination. Snow is one of the multitude of ways that water shows up in the world. Our bodies are mostly water. The essence of who we are is floating and flowing. Water moves through us and with us. I had a massage therapist once that would wear only white. She believed wearing the absence of color would draw all of the colors in to aid healing. Right now, white shows up as an uninvited relative, cloaked in paralyzing fear and rage, staring back at me with no recognition of who I usually am. The path is blank. Where is the opportunity? White is the horizon where no one waits for me, the last in a line of pain and promise. White is the fascia that sticks to the muscles in my body like a sloppy application of Mod Podge. White is the endless amount of goop, creams, balms, salves, and ointments I slather on my hands, legs, and back to ease the pain. Blankness comes to me when I want to say something witty or charming, my brain in a fog. The words fade into space and run from me like dust bunnies trying to escape from my vacuum. I must find the will to begin again and forge a new path.
Once, in the shade garden, in the stillness, awake. Ghost leaves suddenly swirl, a few on the fly and then many together. From Rosie's meadow, what was Rosie's meadow when she lived, come paper-thin leaves tinged with white, so pale, maybe even translucent, rustling, speaking. Then flicker the light, deepen the shadow, and sleep once more. Cool moss, a bed of togetherness. All is one and quiet. Spinning. Summer-sunned girl spins around in the funeral home parking lot, hands in the air up to the sky blue sky. Silver spray-painted chain fence separates us. I walk along on hot cement and want to let my arms go up and want to let my body turn, our hair roping round in time, heads thrown back. I am her for a moment. She has no shadow.
The past we drove, the future we may drive, are no matter, have no substance while driving in the driving rain of here. the torrent of now that forges wet and dry between land and sky, between times washed away and moments not conceived, that forgets regrets and roads not taken, that looks down from up, forward, forsaken, at patterns to consider as pitter-patters glitter on the windshield, on the road, under the starless, moonless out, between the everything. Appreciate ignorance of the infinite lives we may have had, or may have lost, or may have bought at ironic cost, and focus on the finite lives of who and where, and cradle those who care, those whose limited selves chose to junction with our own, chose to function without loan, and instead gave freely time and fuel as we crossed. Though turns and intersections cause the car to slide on roads wet and flooded, and though the rain ever rains, the driver ever drives, we smell the rain, we feel the rain, we hear the rain, we taste the rain, we watch the rain, and still we drive. Over roads we know and roads we find, roads we choose on autopilot when we're deaf and blind. Some roads narrow as an arrow but not straight, some roads aimless and wide as directions on the ocean. But all roads curve and wind. True freedom and illusion when we don't choose which roads exist, but at least we choose the roads to pass, the roads to leave behind, and the roads to which we return and return again. And we on our roads drive through happiness and pain, through loss and gain, being humbled or heartened, or selfless or vain, and overwhelmed or overcome, or lost or near, experiencing each, moving through, being here, like driving in the rain.
Adding the describer domestic gives off a Budweiser of terrorist vibe. The word itself says, even if they're wrong, at least they're trying. I wish they were domestic like clean under the fridge. At least that would be useful. Should we be saying domesticated like take the Proud Boys to the dog park? Like we taught them how to do it? Or does domesticated sound too much like radicalized? Like pledging allegiance?
Keychain by Rachel Woodring. I lose my keys all the time, but I remember every home I've ever had. The peach and green flower wallpaper in my Higgins bedroom, the wall of white painted cabinets in the Avis house, filled with games and Disney VHS tapes. The snug office in the Chambersburg parsonage, decorated with my great-grandmother's orange and brown plaid sofas. The nook under the stairs in the Middletown bungalow, where the cats like to nap on a pile of old newspapers. I can still sketch the layouts of all my apartments. Leiden, Chestnut Hill, Brighton, Brookline, Malden. And yet, I cannot find my damn keys to open the front door in either my pockets or purse.